Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. The Philippines should further boost its contact tracing and testing efforts amid the threat of the Delta coronavirus variant, according to Dr. Ted Herbosa, the special advisor to the National Task Force against COVID-19. Herbosa said that contact tracing and testing are key measures to stop the transmission of the Delta variant in case it spreads in communities. The Philippines has detected 19 cases of the Delta variant involving returning overseas Filipinos. No local case of this variant has been detected in the country so far, according to the Philippine Genome Center. However, Herbosa said the country should not let its guard down, as he cited the experience of Indonesia. He also said other health protocols against COVID-19 should be strictly implemented. According to the Department of Health, the government's pandemic task force is set to discuss once again the travel protocols within the Philippines for fully vaccinated individuals. DOH Secretary Francisco Duque III said that the public need to present a negative RT-PCR test result when traveling to their destination if the local government unit requires it. This is regardless of their vaccination status. According to the DOH, Duque was referring to Interagency Task Force Resolution number 101, where it is up to the LGU if they will still require testing. Last July 4, Malacanang announced IATF Resolution number 124-B, allowing vaccination cards as sufficient alternatives to any testing requirement before travel or upon arrival to LGU of destination. However, some local government units expressed their hesitation to this new policy. Duque said the members of the IATF, together with the Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, are set to resolve this matter today, July 8. The Philippines has forged a closer friendship with China with no strings attached. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte declared Wednesday that the country befriended China because we just like to be friends. According to the president, it would be stupid to forge friendship with China with expectations of what the Asian neighbor can give to the country. The president also expressed the country's gratitude for China's kindness in giving coronavirus vaccines to the country. He recalled that China was the first to give the country's vaccines against the virus. The country got its first batch of 600,000 Sinovac doses, a donation from the Chinese government last February 28. The arrival of the vaccines allowed the government to kick off a vaccination drive initially covering healthcare workers last March. China donated another 400,000 jabs to the country. Meanwhile, Isang Bayan describes the speech of Duterte as lacking, insulting, and derogatory to every self-respecting Filipino. In a statement, they said that they have again witnessed President Duterte kowtowing to his masters in China. Under the leadership of Duterte, the Philippines opted to pursue dialogue with China to manage a territorial dispute while pursuing close economic and security ties with the Asian giant. While he appreciated China as a friend and benefactor, he made clear that he would not compromise the country's sovereignty and rights. The Japan Air Self-Defense Force and the Philippine Air Force on Thursday concluded the first air-to-air bilateral training on humanitarian assistance and disaster relief at Clark Air Base in Pampanga, marking a significant milestone for defense cooperation between the two neighboring countries. In a statement, the Japanese embassy in Manila said, Japan is proud to share with the Philippine Air Force the experience and knowledge of the Japan Air Self-Defense Force on the delivery operations of relief goods to people in need or in urgent need, considering that both countries are vulnerable to natural disasters such as earthquakes and typhoons due to their climate and topography. The training aimed to strengthen the interoperability in delivering relief goods to affected people in isolated areas in severe emergency situations. In compliance with Philippine health protocols, the unit strictly observed all COVID-19 health and safety guidelines and quarantine rules upon deployment. Following the deadly crash of a PAF C-130 aircraft in Jolo last Sunday, the in-flight training between the two air forces was canceled, and the activity was focused on ground training such as load and offload and simulated emergency procedure utilizing a C-130 aircraft from Japan. The exercise coincides with the 65th anniversary of the establishment of bilateral relations between Japan and the Philippines. In Metro News, Navotas Gov't now requires tourists to present health documents before entry. Manila procures 60 electric beds and ICU equipment for district hospitals. And Caloocan City Government urges establishments to give fully vaccinated customers discounts. More from these reports.
Individuals coming from outside the NCR Plus bubble will have to submit various health-related requirements before being allowed entry into Navotas City to protect their residents from COVID-19. The local government announced Wednesday that tourists must register at s.pas.ph and have to submit a health declaration or medical certificate issued by the health office of their origin before they can enter the city. Those entering Navotas must also present a certificate issued by their barangay government stating that they are not included in the list of those who need to undergo quarantine or have already finished their quarantine period. As of July 6, Navotas has a total of 11,088 COVID-19 cases. Of these, 10,619 have recovered, 371 died, and 98 are still active. The local government of Manila on Wednesday received the 60 electric beds and other medical equipment it procured for its 6 district hospitals. The electric bed will be distributed to the respective intensive care unit departments of the city's district hospitals. Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso said that if healthcare workers are given the right equipment, they can perform their duties and give their best care for their patients. The procurement of medical supplies was part of the local government's continuous preparation to handle critical cases in the city's district hospitals. The Caloocan City Government has approved resolution encouraging all business establishments to give discounts to individuals who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Councilor Orvins Howard clarified that the local government will not oblige business establishments to give a fixed discount but will encourage them to do their own gimmicks. He said this is also an opportunity for business owners to oblige their workers to get vaccinated, especially those who are considered essential workers.
Here are the top news in other parts of the country. Online listing still a must for jabbed Baguio visitors. DENR 7 shuts down Cebu garbage transfer station. And Western Mindanao Command lauds Tausug Village heroes for helping survivors of the C-130 plane mishap. Let's check out the details.
The local government of Baguio City announced on Wednesday that online registration for non-Baguio residents is still required when entering the borders of the city, even if they already have their vaccination card showing 2 doses of the anti-COVID-19 vaccine. Visitors have to get their vaccination QR passport at hdf.baguio.gov.ph for the authorized persons outside their residence and at visita.baguio.gov.ph for tourists. Upon entering the border checkpoint, visitors will still be led to the triage area at the Baguio Convention Center where the authenticity of their document will be verified. The Baguio City Police will thoroughly check documents at the border checkpoints as they are the first line of defense against the virus. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources in Central Visayas on Wednesday shut down a garbage transfer station in the former sanitary landfill in Barangay Inayawan in Cebu for failure to dispose of waste within 24 hours and slapped the operator with a 105,000 peso fine. On July 5, 2021, an inspection was conducted by the DENR field personnel where it was found out that the wastes therein were stored beyond 24 hours in violation of Section 25 of Republic Act 9003. The inspection team observed that the wastes have already reached 10.8 meter high and essentially makes it an open dump site which is prohibited under the law. The Western Mindanao Command or WestMincom on Wednesday lauded the Tausug villagers who were among the first responders to aid the soldiers who survived the C-130 cargo plane mishap in Paticul, Sulu. In a statement, WestMincom Commander Lieutenant General Corleto Vinluan Jr. said that the Western Mindanao Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines is extremely grateful to the assistance extended by our Tausug brothers and sisters in Sulu who were among the first responders. He added that their heroic deeds are worthy of praise and recognition and that this exemplifies that at times when the protectors of the people and the state are in trouble, we have the peace-loving people to depend on. He also added that whether we are Muslims or Christians, we are Filipinos with one flag and one country.
In world news, U.S. COVID cases rising rapidly as Delta variant dominates. Indonesia expands nationwide COVID-19 curbs. And the Pope thanks well-wishers as condition improves after surgery. Details in these reports.
COVID cases are rising rapidly in the United States as the highly contagious Delta variant dominates and vaccinations stagnate. The 7-day average of new cases was 13,859 as of July 6, up 21% compared to 2 weeks earlier, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention or CDC. Cases attributed to the most recent days might rise further because of the reporting lag following the July 4 holiday weekend. Despite having among the highest availability of vaccines of any country, America's immunization campaign has dropped off steeply since April. Indonesia expanded nationwide coronavirus curbs Wednesday to battle its deadliest COVID-19 wave yet, as the death toll rocketed with the government warning that the worst may be yet to come. The new restrictions would apply to dozens of cities and extend for Sumatra Island in the west to easternmost Papua as the highly infectious Delta variant rips across the Southeast Asian archipelago after battering densely populated Java. The country's hospitals are buckling under the pressure as a wave of sick patients flood to the overwhelmed healthcare system. The wider restrictions including forcing the majority of non-essential employees to work from home, as well as limiting shop and restaurant hours. The Muslim-majority country's mosques and churches were also closed in the highest-risk areas. Pope Francis tweeted for the first time after his surgery operation that he was touched by many messages of support received. Vatican spokesman Matteo Bruni earlier said the pontiff is eating and is no longer receiving infusion therapy, a phrase that typically refers to drug administered intravenously. Francis underwent a planned 3-hour operation on Sunday for what the Vatican described as symptomatic diverticular stenosis of the colon. On Monday, Bruni said the Pope would stay in Rome's Gemelli Hospital for around 7 days unless there were complications.
In entertainment, Robin Padilla confirmed that his daughter Kylie Padilla has called it quits with her husband, actor Aljur Abrenica. Story in this report.
Veteran action star Robin Padilla confirmed that her daughter Kylie Padilla and husband actor Aljur Abrenica have called it quits. In an interview with Ogie Diaz, Robin said the first thing that he asked her daughter upon learning her marital woes was if Aljur hurt her physically and treated her unfairly. But Kylie told him that she's the one who ended their relationship. Asked if the breakup was caused by a third party, Robin answered meron daw or there is. But Robin believes that the two stars still love each other and he could only hope that Kylie and Aljur will be able to fix their problem.
In sports, pole vaulter EJ Obiena improves in the pole vault world ranking ahead of his bid for a podium finish in the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. Let's watch this report.
EJ Obiena jumped to a career-high number 6 in the pole vault world rankings ahead of his Tokyo Olympics campaign late this month. Obiena climbed from number 10 after successful campaigns in various international competitions where he reset his national outdoor record twice last June. Obiena said he would use this recent feat to keep pushing himself as he aims for a podium finish in the Olympics. In a Facebook post, Obiena assured that his fighting spirit is very much alive and that Filipino athletes will not just proudly represent the Philippines but fight for its glory.
And those are the news on Web today, July 8, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow, or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph, or you can also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin, and join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.